Ram, 5 minutes or less. An operator with a lot of vertical potential that the Buck and Sledge just cannot offer, with a lot of downsides that Buck and Sledge don't have. Just right out the gate, let me show you how a lot of randoms tend to play Ram. They'll just use the boogie to get through the window, and basically just play Ash. They'll just play entry, they'll use their 1 to get through that window over there, they'll try to take their duels, and probably die. So Ram's gadget is the boogie, which is this throwable little tank. It's almost bulletproof. You just have to destroy the red canister on its back to destroy it. Once you do activate, it'll just move forward and make a shit ton of noise and destroy anything soft in that, and destroy anything in its radius, including if it falls, it will just keep going. Buck and Sledge are very good for very precise destruction, knowing where you want to destroy and destroying that one specific spot, but they have to be relatively near what they're destroying. Ram doesn't have to be near her boogies at all. She can just deploy one and run away, and the boogie can just do its thing as soon as she clicks the button, and she will destroy a lot of ground that she doesn't even have to be near and cause a lot of anxiety for defenders that are in the area. Because Buck and Sledge make very precise holes, they just have to know where they're making the holes and hope that the enemy's actually using them. Ram can just destroy entire areas of the ceiling and make entire rooms unplayable like this. Like, as a defender, having the ceiling intact feels pretty safe, but the instant I click the button, most of this room becomes pretty unsafe to play, because now I have to worry about just this big-ass row of vert angles. Paranoia is really a strength that Ram has that Buck and Sledge don't really have, because if they make a hole, you can kind of figure out they're in the rough general area of the hole. But with Ram, she can be holding an angle, you know, on the other side of the map like I am right now, and activate the thing, and the guys on site just see the entire ceiling being destroyed with no idea where the Ram actually is. Like, there's this general paranoia factor, and even if they figure out Ram's not playing the holes, this is just a distraction, who's to say later on the Ram doesn't start playing these holes and doesn't start actually using this vert? But Ram has some pretty significant downsides. For one, this thing is extremely fucking loud. Like, compared to other gadgets in the game, this thing makes a lot of fucking noise. So if someone starts sprinting or just generally making a lot of noise around the boogie, you will not be able to hear it. Like, you'll have to have inhuman hearing to hear over the boogie. Another issue Ram has is that she's not precise at all, really. Like Buck and Sledge, they'll destroy a hatch no problem, and no one will think twice about using their utility for that. Using a Ram for a hatch, like, it works. It just sort of has that same feeling as, like, using ace charges for a hatch or using a thermite for, like, a castle. Like, yeah, you did the job. It's just really excessive. Like, maybe someone with a breach charge could have done the same job. And then another issue Ram has, that this is probably the biggest thing I've said about her since she dropped, is she has sort of what I call the Goyo problem, where she has a lot of value, but it's really easy for you to fuck over your team more than fuck over the enemy if you use that value wrong. Like, if I just use the boogie in this window, I have made a lot of vertical, yes. I've also made vertical that the enemy can see from that door there. I can't really hop in at all, because anyone underneath me will see the hop in. Like, using Ram in the wrong spot can completely fuck over your team's ability to play any vertical whatsoever. And in some cases, the enemy's gonna have more ways to play the vertical than you will. Like, it's really easy to fuck over your team playing Ram, as opposed to helping your team. You have to be really careful where you use these things, and sort of pre-plan where you're gonna Ram. You also open yourself up to the chance for the enemy to retake the vertical. Like, yeah, these holes hurt anyone playing on site, but if your goal is to plant on site, this is also going to hurt you, because there could be a breach here that the enemy now has an angle on. Enemy has an angle on this door now, so you can't use this. Enemy has an angle on this door. Like, anything you can see with Ram, anything that you make with Ram, you have to factor in that maybe the enemy could take from you and actually use that against you, which is true of every vertical operator to a point, but there's a big difference between an enemy taking like a single buck hole and an enemy taking entire rows of vertical like this that just sort of cover everything. And yeah, Ram, 5 minutes or less. If you want a whole room destroyed, Ram's the one you pick, because this is a lot of destruction that Buck and Sledge aren't really going to be able to do on their own. But if you need a hatch or something precise opened like this, maybe Buck and Sledge are your picks. And yeah, peace.